Go podcast.
You ready?
Sure.
Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another Level 2 podcast. Today's a little different. This is going to be myself and my lovely wife, Jessica.
Hello.
Hi. So you know me, and you know Keegan. Keegan's not with us today. Instead, filling in, we have Jess, and Jess is basically going to be here to chit-chat about the same sort of stuff that me and Keegan talk about, really. We also have a really kind of cool bonus round question that we kind of came up with on the spot right before we started recording. I'm proud of it. I think it's going to be good. It was a joint effort. So you've never done a podcast before, correct?
No.
Are you nervous?
No.
Not at all? Not the fact that this is going to go out to like hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, I'm overestimating. It's probably going to go like there's going to be like 3 people that really love this.
I'm fine.
Okay, good. So we're going to start the same way that me and Keegan usually start, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
And that is with me asking you, what have you been watching? I would say playing, but you don't play video games a whole lot. We'll get into that. And then maybe instead of watching, what have you been reading?
Yeah.
Because you do that. You do read quite a bit. You do. So go ahead.
What have we been watching?
It's weird, isn't it? Because usually when Keegan's here, I'm like, oh, me and Jess have been watching this show. But now you're here and you can't remember what we've been watching.
No, because here's the thing. I don't really watch.
Yeah, you read.
I read.
Yeah. So we've been watching together Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Was something we watched.
We've been watching Iron Fist.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, the few bits I watched, it was pretty good.
The few bits you were paying attention to.
Yeah. When I needed to pause because my eyes were getting strained.
From reading?
Yep.
So here's the thing about Iron Fist. Iron Fist got not great reviews. Like when you go over the reviews, and especially when you compare it to the past reviews of things that Marvel did on Netflix, like Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Now you like Jessica Jones quite a lot, not just because she had the same name as you, but you did quite like that character, if I remember. She was the the black-haired girl, and Daredevil was alright. Yeah, Luke Cage was alright. You quite like Luke Cage. We didn't finish that, did we?
Yeah,
we got like close to the end. Now this one was weird because this one was the only one to not come into rapturous applause by critics, but I really like it. I thought it was great, and now I have an affinity for kung fu, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch kung fu movies growing up? I genuinely want to know that. No, I'm just saying. I'm not just bantering now. Like now, I want to know if you watch kung fu.
I mean, not typically. No.
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 You didn't watch any kung fu movie. There's not one movie that you can think of. But, oh yeah, that was good, and it was just a fighting the whole way through.
No.
This is my equivalent of being Kermit sipping tea.
Probably the closest to kung fu I watched was Kung Fu by Proxy.
Is that
Brandon Lee, The Crow.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's not really I mean, it's close. I'll give you that. It's a half a not really kung fu, but
it's not even kung fu.
It's a fighty movie.
Brandon Lee, who's the son of Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I get it by proxy. I get it. I'm with you.
6 degrees to kung fu.
Okay. And he died as well, didn't he?
Shut up. Yeah, he did.
On set. Yeah. They shot him with real bullets. Shh. Bastards. I was well sad about that. I know because growing up, one of my best friends growing up was a massive Brandon Lee fan, specifically from The Crow, and I remember all the stories about it. Like he had these posters and stuff, and he would tell me about when this guy got shot, and I
cried.
You cried? Really?
I love that movie. Yeah. And
when did you? Were you? How old were you when he copped it?
I don't know, 14, 15.
15?
14 maybe.
I don't even remember.
Whenever The Crow came out.
It's a good soundtrack as well, though.
When did The Crow come out?
I don't know. I'll Google it. So, what else have you been watching?
Love, a Netflix original by Judd Apatow.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that. 1994 for The Crow, by the way.
94, I would have been 13.
I think I was about 12. Oh, I'm a year younger than you.
Yeah,
so.
you're younger, so 12.
There you go. 12! I am 12, and what is this?
But I probably watched it when I was like 14. I think I was like a freshman in high school. I had the poster on my wall. I had the soundtrack.
Did you have the chair poster where he's like on the chair and he's looking all like... No? Or did you have the one with the alleyway?
I might have had that one. I had like a shirt. I had stuff. I don't have it anymore.
I'm gonna confess something here. When I was growing up, you've probably seen pictures, but I don't think you ever saw me. I quite like The Crow, obviously, growing up, and I got my mum to buy me a tight, really tight black long sleeve shirt that I would wear with leather trousers because I thought I looked like The Crow. I mean, obviously.
The little girl that's in there that like hangs out with them, with Shelly.
All the time.
Yeah, I was kind of jealous of her a little bit, tiny bit.
So, love Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were just addressing.
No, I'm bringing it back. Snappy.
My heart. It's okay. It's one of those shows that I just put on like in the background.
Like most.
That's basically what I do. I just find a show that I could tolerate the sound of, and it plays while I do other things. Not crossword puzzle, jigsaw puzzle, or I read a book.
Let's talk about jigsaw puzzles for a second, because I brought this up on the channel. You don't watch our show, so you wouldn't have heard it. But you
have a show?
Huh?
You have a show?
Oh yeah, this is for a show. Did I tell you?
No.
Sorry. So there was a game that came out on the PS4 called Total Jigsaw, which is a fucking jigsaw puzzle game. And as soon as I saw it, I thought she would love that. But you are like proper obsessed in jigsaw puzzles on the iPad, correct?
I wouldn't say I'm proper obsessed.
You are. I'm telling you, you're proper obsessed because just all you do is play jigsaw games.
You get a free puzzle every day.
Yeah.
So I take the free puzzle.
But you have
a
very expensive iPad Pro, might we add. A very expensive iPad Pro. And it is pretty much the only thing you do on it is play jigsaw games.
It's my jigsaw machine.
Jigsaw machine. There you go.
My puzzle machine.
So when you're doing your puzzles, you're watching Love for Judd Apatow, and you would say it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. I wouldn't really say it's funny. I don't know. It's dry.
Who's in
humor.
it?
Britta? I don't know her real name.
Britta from Community.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not Alison Brie, is it? Is Alison? I'm mixing that up, aren't I?
No, that's the brown hair girl.
Brown hair girl.
It has her. And it has some fella.
Fucking useless.
Some girl from Australia.
Girl from Australia. Gillian Jacobs.
Yep.
I believe is the name.
Britta.
Paul Rust is in it. Claudia O'Doherty, Mike Mitchell. Lots of people we don't know. Iris Apatow is in it.
Yeah, that's Judd Apatow's little girl.
I'm assuming that she's related to him.
She looks just like her mother.
I don't dislike...
Just like her mother is Leslie Mann, and she looks just like her.
I don't dislike Judd Apatow, but I do feel like he's gotten progressively worse as time's gone on.
It's not like it's just a show. It's like you're just watching their life. It's not really dramatic. It's not really funny. It's just their life.
It's got quite a good score. It's got 7.8 on IMDb,
yeah,
which surprises the fuck out of me because I thought it was miserable.
It's not like, I don't know. It's not like you're like a sitcom where it's like, oh, funny. It's just
time to laugh now.
It doesn't end happy every episode. Sometimes the episode is like, well, shit. It's just
how long is it? Like how many episodes in
I don't know.
In a season? There's 3 seasons apparently, which is surprising. I thought it was new.
I thought they were only in episode 2.
10 episodes a season. So there you go.
Are they in episode 3?
Season 3. Yeah.
No, like, is that what's on Netflix right now?
I don't know.
So I could have swore I was only watching season 2.
I don't know. Maybe
this is how much I pay attention. I have no idea.
It says all episodes March 30th, and there's like 3 seasons. Maybe they just dropped 3 seasons in one day. I don't know. We're unprepared for this conversation. So what else?
Much like life.
Yeah.
I've been reading the Pretty Little Liars series.
And the crowd screams.
So
explain yourself.
Yes. So Pretty Little Liars is one of those shows that I put on for background noise. I gotta say, I hated like the first episode or 2. I thought it was
stupid,
the worst thing ever. But I liked the premise, like the idea that someone was kind of
stalking you.
Dead. No.
Sorry, snot came out of my nose when I laughed at that.
Yeah.
Kind of
stalking and
There you go.
Like this, I don't know. I just kind of like the premise. I thought, well, I'll stick with it. Besides, it's just on for background while I'm doing puzzles and stuff. And then by the end of the first season,
You're addicted.
I was like, I gotta keep watching this. So I watched all the episodes available on Netflix. There's a season going on right now, I think. So I gotta wait around for those episodes. Get it together, Netflix, next day. And then I thought, well, I'll read the books, which
The book's different?
are very different.
They are?
Very different so far.
Like, how much so?
Well,
Different characters?
yes, like none of them really look the same as they do in the show.
Okay. So I was trying to imagine, I was thinking, how do they look like anything in a book? Then I remembered you could describe things with words. That's how slow my brain
Yes,
is
that's
moving this
typically
evening.
how that
Like, oh yeah, it
happens.
probably tells you what they look like.
Like
That's
one of the
how books
girls,
work.
she's an Irish girl.
Like Irish heritage or Irish?
Like Irish heritage. She has red hair,
Gotcha.
pale skin, freckles. But in the show, she's like dark complexion, dark hair. Also in the show, she's a single child. Is that how you say that?
Only
An
child?
only child, yep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
As which am I?
Yeah, she's an only child. And her family's like military, so they move around. In the book, she actually has multiple siblings. And her parents have basically
So
lived
they
in that
took
town forever.
Supreme like liberties with the story then. So the books, there was quite a lot of them, isn't there? There's
Apparently
like
there's
16 or
like
something.
a million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a bunch of source material, which, let's be honest, I mean, at least they were prepared. Game of Thrones, haven't even finished. And they took these books and they created what channel is it on? Isn't it on a weird channel as well? I feel like it's on something like
It's like
ABC,
ABC,
Family
yeah.
or something.
Another thing that I thought was interesting, but I can see why they did it, is the time frame. So in the book, so Allison is who was the girl who goes missing. So it's a group of friends. They're mean girls. And
Mean Girls, like the Mean Girls in the movie Mean Girls.
Yeah, so like they're a group of friends, and like Allison is just not a nice girl. She spreads rumors, she manipulates people, and then like these friends just kind of follow her along because she's like the most popular girl, so they want to hang out with her. They're like,
Can I stop you there just for a second? Is that real? Like, because obviously I never went to school in America, but is that like the Mean Girls idea of there being like a cliquey
say-
group of like massive twats that just everyone hates?
probably.
Well, I'm asking you because you went to school. Yeah. Was that a thing in your life?
Well,
Not
I'm
were you
sure
a mean girl, but like were there mean girls in schools that you went
There's
to?
always mean girls.
There is?
And there's always jockey guys, and
So it's
always,
not just a
like, math
stereotype then?
nerds. I don't think it's a stereotype. I mean, they're probably not as ballsy as they are like in the book and stuff, but
They don't make like diaries of all the nasty things that people do and that.
probably not. I don't know.
Hmm.
But
Sorry, carry on.
Anywho's, so they meet in like in 6th grade, and so like the main stuff that happens where like all the secrets happen is 7th grade, and then Allie goes missing at the end of 7th grade.
How old would she be? How old is that?
7th grade is like 13.
Ugh.
So she goes missing. And then it's 3 years later in the books, now they're like 16. And now the story picks up again. In the TV show, she's only been missing for a year. So they're 16 now, but she went missing at like 15.
They try to hush it along a little bit.
Yes. Well, I think part of the reason is because some of the secrets is like fooling around with older boys. Things like that. So like one of the girl's secrets is her sister, who doing like, if you think about it, her sister would have been like a senior in high school when she was in like 7th grade. That's quite a difference. So you're talking like 17, 18 years old to about 13 years old. She kissed her sister's boyfriend. So he's like 17, 18 years old. She's making out with her sister's boyfriend at 13.
Kind of gross.
Yes. So I can see why in the TV show they decided to make it 15. They were 15 when this happened. So she kissed a 17-year-old boy.
Less gross.
Not nearly
Still a
as
little
terrible. Right.
If you're 17, speaking as someone that was once a 17-year-old boy, I would think 15 would be borderline. Like it would have been a bit like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the movement I would make.
You would
You're 15.
physically be repelled. So you're
You're
Noel from the IT crowd.
There's a very bright light over here. Can you see this? Oh, Oh, it's like God rays.
Okay, so
Change
anyway,
the
that's the
aprons.
book. I'm reading the book. So I'm in book 3 right now.
Yeah, you're nailing them books. Fastest I've ever seen you read anything.
Those are really easy reads.
I
Yeah, I'm
imagine
finishing
so.
them in about a day or two.
And they're considered young adult books, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So would you recommend them?
Sure, I don't care.
Sure, I don't care. Some dads aren't your dad.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You dingus.
So Pretty Little
I mean,
Liars.
If you just want something like it's an easy read,
It's not
that's
intellectually
kind of
straining
silly.
in any
No.
size, shape, or form, but it is
No.
mind-numbingly decent.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I watched some of the TV show with you, mostly because I didn't have a choice, but also it wasn't terrible. There was some point. So here's the thing about American TV. There's 2 types of American TV, maybe more than 2, but there's a very specific type of American TV that is catered to almost this like idealistic version of life, I think. And it's mostly on like your ABCs and things like that. But so one of the parts that annoys me about it is they took over a couple of superhero shows with it. You remember we started watching the Arrow for a while, the Green Arrow, and like that was a CW show, and CW is kind of renowned for that, and almost like stuff like Supernatural as well. Like Supernatural's such a good idea, and for the most part pulled off quite well, but so fucking cheesy in places, and you just kind of feel like, oh, why'd you have to be cheesy? You could be so good if you weren't cheesy. And I think like Pretty Little Liars is a little bit like that. Obviously it's geared towards a younger audience. That's what the books were geared towards. Probably geared more towards a female audience because it's almost an entirely female cast, or at least the main characters. And but it's not terrible because the premise, let's not forget, is that they're being stalked by a psycho and no one knows who it is. So it's a whodunit.
Right.
And
So
we like whodunits.
Yeah, so these girls, they have all these secrets. They grow apart after Allison disappears. And then they're brought back together because somebody is leaving them random notes. They're signing them A. But the notes are exposing little bits of their secrets, things that they had only ever told Allison. But Allison is gone. So who's leaving this? So they think it's Allison.
From
But
beyond
then,
the grave.
bum, 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 Allison's body is found. Well, she's been disappeared.
Been disappeared.
She's been disappeared. Whoosh, Houdini'd. So she's not in it. So they think maybe she's back and maybe she's doing this.
I always thought that A stood for anonymous. No, because when I didn't know anything about
Could
it.
stand for it, but
That's
they
what I
thought it was A
assumed.
for Allison.
Well, I mean, that's a good assumption to make, except if you
And
know your
then-
friend's dead.
Well, they didn't know she was dead.
Oh,
She's
right.
just been missing.
Sorry. Wasn't
She's been
following.
missing. Now they find her. They find her actually buried in her own backyard.
Oh, charming.
Mhm.
How'd they find
So,
her?
So there was
Whose
a-
idea was it to dig up the backyard?
So there was a gazebo. So when Allison went missing, her family was put in a gazebo. So the grounds were all tore up.
Convenient.
So after she went missing and some years passed, her family moved away. A new family moved in, tore up the gazebo to put down a tennis court because they're in a very rich neighborhood.
This is like Orange County. We're talking.
Well, it's in Pennsylvania.
Is it?
Rosewood, Pennsylvania.
I don't know how affluent Pennsylvania is. I don't imagine it was very affluent. But
Well, it's very rich.
fair enough.
Apparently the author of the book is actually from that area, and she kind of used experiences in her like super rich neighborhood. Like the girls like are 12 and 13 and they're, wearing
Massive
Rolex watches, real diamond earrings. They all have jewelry from Tiffany.
Like super sweet 16 times 10.
Fendi bags you have to
What's
they're
a
like
fucking Fendi bag?
like a $400 purse. Like
Alright.
things like this. So they're very very super rich. Uber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something
so,
I will never know anything about.
Yeah,
sadly.
no. Mm-mm. So yeah, so basically someone's leaving them this note. So it's obviously not Allison, she's dead, but somebody knows all these secrets. Who is it? So now it's like a who's doing this? And
Whodunit.
and they're things that are like, they were all their secrets from 7th grade that only Allison knew. So now who knows all their stuff? And this person is like threatening to expose all their secrets. And some of them, like the girl who made out with her.
But their secrets are essentially like not that scandalous.
Not necessarily, but they're also, young kids who go to this uber rich public school who the reputation is everything. And if
Right.
something gets out like that, my life is over.
Gotcha. So enough
So
for a teenage girl to cop
they
herself
make it
over,
worse.
but not
Yeah,
really.
they make it
anything
worse than
more
it
than
really
that.
needs to be.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think it's fair to say that when we do pay attention to things that we're watching, we do like crime stuff.
Yes, I love crime shows.
Yeah, because you want it to be a
Psychological
forensics
thrillers.
something or other, right?
Psychologist.
Forensics, like explain what a forensic psychology. Because to me, forensics is like blood splatter expert and things like that. Psychologist is brain doctor. So how can you be a forensic psychologist?
Well, forensics is just with the law.
That's all that means.
Mhm.
Law.
So what I personally wanted to do, I didn't want to be like, profiling and forensic psychology is not like the same thing, but that's a lot of times what people think that it is. What I wanted to do was work in the court systems, and do like competency tests.
Okay. Just like for someone like tries to plead insanity or something.
Mhm. So be the psychologist.
Oh,
that
you
would,
crazy.
Yeah, be the psychologist that would examine the person, do the competency test, who would go on trial and say this person is clinically insane or whatever. Also work.
Did you be honest? Did you do that just so you would get to say the line, "This person is clearly insane"? Your Honor.
No. I just really liked psychology, and I liked the idea of. One of my favorite shows growing up was like Law and Order.
Ding ding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So to work in the court system, and so not just like competency stuff, but also with kids, like on divorce cases, to meet with the family and try to help figure out, like what's in the best need of this child here. Like, is this parent going to do, will
they look after the kid properly?
Yeah, like is this mom gonna
a fit mother?
Mm-hmm. Or is she kind of cuckoo and shouldn't really have ownership of a child? Stuff like that. Or go with the police when they have to, like grief counseling, like if they have to go to somebody's house to deliver bad news, to have a grief counselor be there. So after the police officer says there's been an accident, there's a counselor there to talk to the person.
Would that not be a different job though to forensic psychologists? Because they sound like two different jobs.
It's
Grief counselor. So it's encompassed within.
Yeah, I mean, it
forensic
can be part of
psychologist.
it. Yeah, I mean, it can be part of it,
Gotcha.
depending on how you do. Because like if you go into clinical psychology, then you're like, you do counseling. If you go more in like law, you can do more criminal justice.
So, out of all the crime, because we've watched a lot of crime shows, I think it's fair to say, and I'm not biased or anything, but I think it's fair to say that British crime shows are usually better. What's your favorite? Best. If you had an audience of, let's say, by 850 people or so, and you wanted to tell them one British crime show, Broadchurch.
I liked that.
Okay.
I also liked The Fall, which is Irish, but with Gillian Anderson.
It kind of
She's
counts.
playing-
She's got a good accent in that as well.
Playing British.
Wasn't
Yeah.
she playing Irish? Or she was British in Ireland, Northern Ireland as well, right?
Belfast.
Gotcha.
Luther, obviously.
Like Idris Elba.
I did.
Tried to win that Valentine's date with him, didn't you?
I did. I also took one of those Facebook quizzes one time where it was like, what celebrity would you be married to? And you answer all the questions. I totally got it.
For Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Fair enough. I am I definitely cannot keep up with the handsomeness of Idris Elba. Sorry.
No, you can't.
But
don't worry though, nobody can.
yeah, I kind of feel like I don't feel too bad about it.
No.
It's a high standard to live up to.
It's very difficult.
All right, so you would recommend Broadchurch, maybe The Fall.
Yeah.
I thought The Fall
No,
was
I liked-
alright. I
I liked
preferred
The Fall.
Broadchurch
I liked The Fall. I also liked that
and Luther.
I also liked that when I watched The Fall, I got to pretend to have an Irish accent.
You do that, don't you?
I do. So again, it was on like mostly for background, but I would listen and pause it and then like repeat the line and try to like get my accent right. I'm not gonna do it.
I wasn't going to ask you to because I know you weren't going to do it. You won't even do it with me in the car.
No.
So people always ask me like, because there's a weird thing with being English in America in that when people that maybe you know but not necessarily like super well talk to you, they put on an accent and they don't know they're doing it. It's brilliant because they'll come up and they'll see your face, and something about your face triggers like British in their head.
Really
So they'll just be like, hello, or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like I'll have people around me just like talking in British accents. And I think like sometimes I think they're doing it like genuine, like that's just what American people do from time to time. Why not? And I'll kind of like, I'll sort of stand there, just stare at them like this, and then just wait for them to finish and notice that I'm watching them.
If you travel down south, you suddenly start to pick up an accent.
A bit of a twang.
Yeah.
But it's really funny when that happens, and then people say to me like, "Oh, how's my accent?" And I'll just be like, "Shit," and I'm pretty brutal about it. And I'll say, "But it's better than my wife's." And they'll say, "What does your wife do?" And I'll say, "She does a 1920s chimney sweep," which is what you do when you demonstrate it to me.
Take the piss.
Yeah, I know. There you go. And you'll be like, "Why, governor? How you doing today?" And but I know that you secretly practice a proper British accent,
Sure
which
do.
you are yet to let me hear. Which is, I'm not going to ask you to do like a world exclusive of your accent. That's why I'm not asking you. But it's funny to me that it's like you're working up the courage to just do it at some point.
I do it in the car, like when I'm driving to pick you up from work.
So you just sit there and go, "Hello, everyone."
Yeah, I'll talk to myself in the car and I'll
I'm
pretend.
in the car.
No, I'll pretend that I'm like someone famous and I'm being interviewed.
Okay.
And so I'm answering questions about
What type of questions do you get asked as a famous person in a car?
like about what movie I'm working on, or
Oh, okay.
about what my most recent book is
So you're
about.
a world-renowned forensic psychologist. So
or what what my book is about, or like a memoir, like, oh, what's your favorite childhood memory? And then I'll like
okay.
say something.
And you think you can do New Zealand as well, right?
Where's the car?
There you go. And do Australian?
Where's the car?
There you go. Brilliant. So it's still better than most of the accents that I hear. But okay, so you wanted to be like a forensic psychologist growing
Well,
up.
that was second.
That was second.
Mhm.
What was first?
What I started to go to college for was art therapy. I wanted
Art therapy.
when I first went to college, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do art therapy, and I wanted to teach kindergarten, and I wanted to be like the art teacher for a kindergarten class.
So making like chickens out of fingerprints and stuff. That was
Like
your
art
goal.
therapy. Like art therapy. I was really into art in high school.
I know. I do know. I mean, no, they don't know. I don't. Why? I'm like, I know. What the fuck?
Duh.
Wait, tell me before.
Duh.
But that's how
Don't
we met,
repeat
isn't
yourself.
it?
Yes.
Art.
So what happened was I was really into art. I wanted to go to this art school and everything. Like I went, and then financial stuff happened right at the last minute, and I couldn't go. So
You have a nervous like thing going on right now where you keep stroking that. Just so you know.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I just thought you'd like to know.
I am aware of
It's adorable.
what I'm doing.
Okay. Art school.
Oh, my watch is telling me to breathe, guys. I'm not going to do it.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. Anyway, so I just went to community college. So like kind of late registration, I couldn't get into the art class, but I could get into some of the psychology classes. So I started that, and I had a professor, Laura Billings, who I just loved. She was young. She was very relatable. She made class fun. And so when second semester came around, I signed up for more of her classes. And then I kind of slowly just started doing only psychology. I took one art class.
Was it all Freud? It's all Freud
I did
now.
like
right?
psychology, sociology, criminology.
All the ologies.
All the ologies. So I did take an art class. I did take a college art class. But I got to tell you, it was very overwhelming. Like, I was good at art in high school. I was crap at art in college. All these people were like so talented, and I was like, I can draw a picture. Like, I don't know. It was just I couldn't really do it. So I just really focused on the psychology part. So then when I got done with community school and I went on to Big Kid College, to university.
I'm a big kid now.
So then when I went on to university, I just focused straight on that. And I thought, I need to, I had taken some like criminology stuff and sociology, and I was kind of fascinated with that aspect. So I thought, okay, well, So my degree is actually in psychology and criminology. So I thought, well, what the hell am I going to do with this?
There you go.
Forensic psychology.
I got kicked out of psychology
Boom.
class. And I'm sure I've told you this story, but for the sake of podcast, I'm a bit of a shit when it comes to authority. I think it's fair to say.
You are.
And I took psychology in school. I tried to get in for music, and I was shit at music as well. Here's my thought process. Right, I wasn't smart, but I really didn't care too much about, like, I didn't have a path. I never knew what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I originally went to college thinking, okay, I'm going to do music. And I went to college only on the premise that I might meet future bandmates. That was my entire thing. Because I'm going to go to college to meet people that play instruments so I can have a band.
Good plan.
I was dedicated.
Pay thousands of dollars in tuition for that.
Well, not that much. English college.
to put an ad in a newspaper.
English college. It's it's not different.
Again, saving you money.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I went to college to do music, but what I didn't realize was,
it's like fuzz.
yeah, it's all over the place. I blame Keegan. So I went to college and I tried to do this music, and here's the thing: I didn't realize it was like proper music. So
college is no joke, kids.
It was like classical music.
Don't mess around.
And they made me like perform in front of them. Here's the thing: like, I just thought, I want to go and learn to do music. I figured it would be like, learning the structures of songs and recording and that kind of stuff, and it really wasn't. It was really like classically trained like stuff. And I get up and they're like, all right, you have to do a song, and I'm like, I don't fucking know any songs. So I ended up doing Swallowed by Bush, which was not the best choice in hindsight. So like, everyone's up there doing like doing this whole thing, and I'm like, swallow, hollow, and it was not a pretty sight. And so I obviously didn't fucking get into music. So there you go. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm probably going to do something else then. So instead, I had a look at what else was available, and I opted to do psychology, communication studies, and IT. I got kicked out of psychology for arguing with a teacher about animal rights. Basically, we were talking about all kinds of things. I think like Pavlov's dogs and things like that. And we started talking about how performing certain things on like monkeys and that kind of stuff was acceptable to make drugs for humans. And I disagreed quite vehemently, and I was yelling and screaming, and I stood up and I was like, it's bullshit, and I'm like getting like real rowdy at the teacher, and I left and I never came back because I wasn't allowed. So then I got kicked out of IT as well. Got hair in my mouth, sorry. It wasn't my intention. What actually happened was there was 3 colleges that were very close together. There was kind of the sixth form college, there was the technology college, and there was an art college. And they kind of were intrinsically linked together. So what I did was I borrowed my friend's sort of login to use a computer at the technology college when I was at the sixth form college. And I'm sat there and I'm doing my thing and I'm typing away, and this guy comes up to me behind and he taps me on the back and he says, hey, you supposed to be here? And I said, yes, I am certainly here. And he said, it's
not exactly the same.
You know what I mean. And he says, Carl, because this is my friend's name. I won't say his full name, but is it Carl? I'm like, yeah, I am Carl. It's weird. You know, like the picture that we have on file of Carl. And at that point, you're fucked. I mean, what are you really gonna say? I look nothing. Like Carl's like this tall, like blonde-haired dude, and clearly I am not. And so because of that, they actually kicked me out of using any computer in any of the 3 colleges. They wouldn't let me log in with my credentials on my side of things because I'd done that.
So why didn't you just log in with your own stuff?
Because I could only do that at the sixth form college, and I was at the technology college. And for some reason, like, even though you could only log in at a certain area, the ban went on all of them. I don't know why. I really don't understand it, but they just they wouldn't let me do it. So I was taking IT at the time, And when I tried to log in and I couldn't in class, I was like, I can't log in. They're like, oh, your stuff's been banned. And then at which point I pretty much fucking gave up.
Yeah, so at that point, like, what do you do if you can't get...
Kicked out of psychology, kicked out of IT. I got communication studies going for me, which, by the way, was bollocks. I don't know if anyone's ever done communication studies, but it's literally just like, you just sat there talking about how we communicate, which is not really the most interesting thing. You got like an eyelash under this one here. There you go. You got it. Make a wish. And so at which point I'm like, you know what? I fucking give up. So I left. And that was the point that I forgot your email.
I was gonna say, that's about the point in time where we stopped.
We stopped talking because I had been pressing reply for years and I'd never once written down your email address. That's how much of a fucking idiot I am. So I instead went to Worcester College of Technology and did music production technology for 4 years instead, and got a useless diploma, higher national diploma, which has only really come in useful for approximately the 3 times that Keegan hasn't been able to balance our audio levels, and I've been like, oh, let me mess with it, and then managed to get them. So 4 years of college, but we have decent audio sometimes.
I do nothing in psychology.
There you go. Everybody's happy.
I work at a financial institution.
I mean, that is a form of psychology. No. You have to deal with people and their shit. Well, you used to. Not
no,
anymore.
I document processes. I make process maps and write procedures and training docs, and I update the web page.
But that's cool. You get to update. You do internet things.
Yeah.
You like that part?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do many internet things. I should do more internet things. I never learned. Like, because you learned the way that everyone in the, I guess, early 2000s or mid 2000s did, which was MySpace HTML code manipulation.
Yeah.
Which was like stealing someone else's HTML code and then changing, like, oh, I don't want red, I want green, and you would change the word red to green.
I would go into like whatever view it was where you could see the HTML and actually look at the code, and I would just find like the stuff that I know. I put in like hi, my name is Jessica, and I look all around that and I go, okay, well, Helvetica, that's a font. So I would just change stuff that you recognized to other things that you knew, to see what would happen. Like if I just take out this entire paragraph, what does the page look like? Or if I move this paragraph from here to here. Do you think MySpace knew that they like inadvertently like spawned a legion of people that now probably make some of the best websites in existence? I don't know, but that's what I would do. I would just customize my page. I'd like put videos on and my space. I paid my rent and I would move them around, and my page is still out there. I don't think mine is. I think I looked for it the other day and it's not there anymore. It's probably still there. Because they changed it, didn't they? Mine, last time I checked, was still there. They changed it a lot. I remember, like, Justin Timberlake did some adverts or something for them. I was surprised that there were pictures of me and you on there together. Like, really? After our wedding. Yeah, you must have gone back and, like, added them. That would have been, like, 2000. Probably because Yes, 2009, exactly. That's when we got married. Yeah. No, I know that. I'm not I think stupid, it's because I mean, 2009 on MySpace is what I'm I didn't want to go to Facebook. Yeah. It was I didn't really like Facebook. I preferred MySpace, I'll be honest. It felt, I don't know, kind of like that. Like it was a bit dry, wasn't it? Because MySpace was like fun. It was like glittery. And it was kind of like, there were songs. Like that, classmate.com or something, whatever it was, Friend like, Finder or whatever. It just seemed, I didn't like it. I just thought it was kind of dull and boring. But everybody was going, and then, MySpace turned in kind of like the trailer park. Yeah, MySpace. Trailer park of social media. So white trash space. Yeah. So I had to leave. So I went over to Facebook, and now that rules Facebook is like no joke. Facebook is for old people at this point. I don't think there's many kids that use Facebook. My dad has been way more active on Facebook. I know lately. What's going on with that. My dad's replying to things. He hasn't done that for a while. He commented on one of my posts. I saw. Yeah. Mental. But I think kids really like Twitter more, and it's weird because I mean, if Keegan was here, he could attest to this. But because he uses Twitter way more than anything else. But I think it's either an attention span thing, or it's just kind of the fact that Twitter's more like quick fire. It's because Facebook is like you post, you wait,
and sometimes people reply. Twitter, it's like boom, boom, boom. It's just constantly moving. But
There's like a
also
retweet.
people on
I don't have to have my own thought. I can just.
people, you know, every
Retweet
time you hit
yours.
this table, they're gonna hear like
Yeah,
a boom.
good. I'm emphasizing.
Fair enough. But on Twitter, I think one of the big draws of it is that you have these celebrities that do post in real time, obviously, and it's kind of as close as a lot of people are ever going to get to these people. And the thing is, they do reply. They do take the opportunity to respond back. And I think that that's the draw of it, is the fact that you could just like holler at Snoop Dogg or something, and he might, you know, holler back. Girl. That was a Keegan joke. Oh gosh, he's rubbing off on me. That's terrible. So, all right. So let's move on to the bonus level, which is going to be an interesting question that it took us forever to come up with.
I wouldn't say forever.
I mean, approximately 30
tries.
seconds. But so I haven't thought about this at all. So I'm going to be thinking about my answer while you're answering it. So hopefully you thought about it. But the bonus level question is: if you could use a cheat code for everyday life, what would it be? And what would you have to do to activate it? Proud of that one. It's a good one. So cheat codes. Now, I know that you kind of know what a cheat code is, but I'm going to give you some examples here. So cheat codes could be anything as simple as like infinite lives, infinite respawn, something like that. They also have, you know, level codes, which would just like transfer you anywhere you want to go. So if you think about that in real life, but also there was always stupid cheat codes as well. Like big head mode is always a popular cheat code for games where you would just have big heads just for fun. It was a really popular old cheat code.
The only cheat codes I know are like infinite health, infinite life.
I mean, that's not bad to have in real life. Let's be honest. Go on.
Infinite health, yes. Infinite life.
You're not sure you want to live forever?
Well, here's the thing. Is it like in a video game? Is it actual respawn? Do you go back in time, or do you just don't die? I got hit by the train, but I'm just still.
Well, there's different versions of it, isn't there?
Dragging my busted leg behind me.
There's different versions of it. You can have it. Well, it would be like invincibility. Would be like one where you just don't die at all, or if you had infinite lives, that would be like where you respawn and you go back. So you'd like go so far and then you die. And I guess the weird part is like, what would be the save point? I petitioned the save point to be the last time you pooped, and here's why: because when you poop, usually you're semi in a comfortable place, right? Last time you pooped at home,
back on the toilet?
Yeah. Like right before you... Well, no, like the poop is the save.
That's a shitty way to start.
Oh, come on now. But it's like when you're done, right? Let's just say like you're done with the pooping part, but that's before like the cleaning up part. It's getting gross. But that's like... Or like right... Because I think there'd be like a certain amount of relief and like, okay, I'm back. But I think that... Because that's like definitely going to be semi-comfortable for you. No one's going to see you. I mean, unless you're into some weird, you know... Donald J. Trump style stuff, but you know, I think that'd be a good opportunity for a respawn point. Every time you poop, you respawn, because you poop quite often as well. I mean, you know, if you're regular. So let's say you poop once a day, right? So you get one save a day. I mean, poop or sleep. Sleep probably makes more sense. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, sleep probably makes more sense. But I just like the idea of poop for some reason. Okay. So let's say that. Well, let's do like, you know how like genies always have like a twist in the tail.
Yeah.
Like where like you get your wish, but there's always like a little sting.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
yeah. So if you get respawn,
you have infinite life doesn't mean you could get smashed up and then you're just like a busted. You're just like busted. You know, like your arms are hanging off.
Well, okay.
You're just not dead.
No, but if you're, but then you would just kill yourself, and then you'd
you couldn't die.
Well, then that's invincibility. Invincibility is different. Invincibility, you wouldn't get scratch. You'd be like Mario with Star. You'd just be like. Now
that would be cool. I think that's just called meth.
Maybe, Methio.
Not even once.
But yeah. So invincibility. Let's just say you wouldn't be banged up, as you put it, or smashed up. You would be like completely. You'd be like unbreakable, right? or you got your infinite lives, and your respawn point is either poop or sleep. We haven't decided
I
yet.
would like sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
I think you poop probably more, right? Than you sleep? Do you poop more than you sleep?
Well, no, if you think about it this way, you would just start your day over every day. It's just a brand new day.
That'd be like Groundhog's Day.
Well, you're not reliving the exact same day.
That's true. But
Well,
getting
I guess
back to the
technically-
question at hand here, because we're getting into the nuance without actually answering the question. Is that the one that you would go for? Which one of them two? Invincibility or infinite lives? Or would you go for something sillier?
I would either do something like health.
What about it? Health is not a cheat code.
Yeah, you can get infinite health.
Like maximum. Yeah, all right. Infinite health. That's a cheat code. You just said health. For your health.
I would like terrible health. That's the cheat code I want.
There's no cheat
Worst
code
health
that's like
ever.
this character's going to be healthy for the rest of this game.
No, but
He's
like,
not going to get sickle cell halfway through the game. He's going to be
but
fine.
like if you have infinite health, then the red flashing starts happening.
So your health
It
bar
just
stays
goes
full
away.
the entire time, which is invincibility essentially. So we're in nuance here.
Mhm.
So that would be yours.
I don't
Can't
know.
get hurt.
I don't know. I kind of like the.
You actually want to like flash like a star.
I would like to be able to speed up and do some shit. Yeah.
So like, okay, all right. So your cheat code would be the equivalent
Because-
of choosing.
Can you run across water that way?
Done yet.
I'm just asking. What if you're going like super incredibly fast? Can you like stay on top of water when you're running?
Mario still drowns. But he does also do several flips when he jumps. So there's that. That's an added bonus. You do like a couple, flips in the air, which would be pretty impressive by anyone's standards. You'd be like a world championship high jumper. But if you could turn it on, if you could just be like, okay, I'm going to go star mode now, lads, stand back, and then just like click your fingers or whatever. Well, that's it. How would you activate it as well? So, okay, so you want the ability to go star mode Mario whenever you like. So you could be super fast, super strong, invincible.
Yeah.
Like let's say you're about to get into a fight, and you're like, okay, time to go star
That
mode on
happens
this
all the
bitch
time.
ass. How do you activate it? Because it has to be something you can't do accidentally. Because if it was like this, then every time me and Keegan recorded, you'd go start mode.
Well, I mean,
So it has to be something you only do. Like you can't accidentally do it. You have to be very,
so it's not like Popeye. I gotta bust out some spinach or mushrooms.
I mean, that could be
something.
it. Yeah, it could be a
Just pop
food. You
some
have to eat a
mushrooms?
particular food, but you eat mushrooms all the time. That means that you'd never be able to eat mushrooms without going star mode. So you'd have to pick a food that you hardly ever eat. Like every time you eat kale, you go star mode. I like the Attack on Titan thing. This is what they do on Attack on Titan: is they bite their hand, like they draw blood on their hand. And I wouldn't do
I
that.
can't bite myself hard enough to draw blood.
Well, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like psychologically, you can't. You don't. You psychologically, you can't.
But
you
if you
don't.
really wanted to go star mode, then you might. See, when he wants to become a Titan, it's life or death. It's like, okay, I have to do this right now. Chomp.
I just want to go star mode so I can avoid traffic.
Yeah, the car doesn't go star mode. It's just you.
No, but me, yeah.
You just be sat in the front seat.
No. I wouldn't take the car. I would just get there. I would be able to think about all the places you could go.
I mean, remember, star mode also has it's a limited time thing. It does wear out. Oh, then you could just redo it, I suppose. But so, what would be your?
Well, it probably needs a recharging. It should recharge.
How long do you think?
30 minutes.
Okay, so let's say you're in a life and death situation and you use star mode to get out of it. But you're still in it. After 30 minutes, star mode runs out. You have to wait 30
Well,
more
do they have
minutes.
star mode too? Because star mode, I'm getting out of there pretty quick.
That's true. There's not a lot of things that star mode won't solve.
Unless me,
Except
I
for
can't
water.
I can't press buttons.
Well, you wouldn't actually have to control yourself with a controller. You would just be you. You'd just be running
What if
around
you did have to control yourself with the controller?
like all flashy.
What if you did? What if you had to?
Control yourself? That would be way too meta. I don't think that would be... I wouldn't enjoy that. You wouldn't
A.
You wouldn't enjoy the star mode.
say that.
Up, down, down, left, right, A, B, start.
Right. I don't know. Is there teleporting? I just want to be able to go travel somewhere.
All right.
Maybe.
So will that be
I
like a
don't
level
know.
select then?
Level select. That sounds good.
Yeah, because then you could just choose what level you want to be on, and the level in this case would be which place, because that's all a level is
But
a
not
place.
time.
No, it's not time
No,
travel.
I don't want to travel in time. I don't think.
No, just place.
Yeah.
So your cheat code would be a level selector where you
Mhm.
could be in the world at any
Yeah.
given point.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And what would you do to activate
Not
that?
at any given point.
Any given place. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by point.
Okay. What would I do to activate it?
Mm-hmm.
Solve a riddle.
Solve a riddle? The same riddle? Because that wouldn't take very long the second time.
No.
You gotta do better.
I don't know. You come up with some stuff.
Okay, well you think about what you would
Sure.
do to
What would
activate
you-
your level select.
What would you pick?
Oh gosh. Well, it's tough, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, I always, and I don't, this is a real cheat. It doesn't happen very often. There's not many games that have this, but I have seen it, so I'm going to use it. Is invisibility.
You'd Harry Potter it.
No, I don't want to cloak, because that's shit. You have to hide under a cloak. I want to be able to do something, and I'll think about what it is that activates it in a minute. But invisibility in a level is always kind of interesting, because it's almost like there's like a god mode thing you can do in some games where you can travel around the map as if you were just a free floating camera, and you can kind of see what's going on the map in places that you're not. Now, some of the areas aren't rendered, which is really creepy and weird. But with some of the older games, you could be like an invisible character. So I can't think of a specific example of an invisible cheat code right now, but I would say that would be fun. And it's because it's the same answer I usually have for like what superpower would you have. I always thought it would be interesting, mostly because I'm nosy and I like to know kind of what's going on in places. So like, you know, when there's like closed door and you thought of something. All right, well, wait. There's like, you know, like when you kind of feel like people might be talking about you in like a closed room, you could just like sit in the corner and listen, and you would know how to deal with them. You'd have this immense power of knowledge, which is what you gain from being like secretly invisible. But also, you would never have to pay for a fucking like airplane ticket or anything ever. You just like go invisible, hop through wherever you want to go.
Where would you sit?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter too much. But you could sit right by the flight attendants. They wouldn't. You could sit in the fucking cockpit. They wouldn't know you were there. You'd have to be pretty like sly with it. But
So you're not just invisible, you're weightless and like totally
No.
translucent.
I'm definitely like completely invisible. But I'm not weightless. I'm still like.
Like if you were like I couldn't see you.
I'm not
when
a
I did
ghost. No,
this.
you could touch me. Yeah.
So then you can't just like sit right next to them. You'd have to have a
Well,
seat.
you'd have to kind of like shimmy. Like if something you just. Whoa.
You're not belted in. You're just gonna flop around.
Yeah, that's bollocks. I don't think you need to put a seatbelt on.
Turbulence.
Hang on to something. It'll be fine. Or
Hang on to-
or
something is holding on to me that I can't see.
or instead of traveling on the commercial part of it, you go like in the underground bit with the suitcases.
Where it's really hot.
Is it hot down there? I don't know. I've never done it. You just open some suitcases and find a fan.
I was
Always
gonna
thinking.
say that if you were invisible, you could sit in the car with me and listen to my accents.
Yeah, I would finally know what you think an English accent sounds like.
No, so okay, here's something that I like if I could have. I don't know if this would be a superpower or if you could make it a cheat level. Just be fluent and totally understand every language. Comprehend all languages.
I mean, you could make that a cheat code. You could turn the game into any language. I could see that. I mean, most of them, that's not
Probably
a
not a
cheat code.
cheat
That's just a
code,
thing that
but-
happens. You can change it, the language, but...
Maybe a superpower, like be able to understand and communicate.
So,
Is that dumb?
No, it's not dumb, but you're getting more into like Matrix territory here, which I trust me, I think is one
If
of the
life were a video game, it would be Matrix-y.
very similar, yeah. Which is what. So the thing I like about one of my favorite parts of the Matrix is that you can just download knowledge to your brain.
Yes,
so that's kind of what you want to do. Like, I know kung fu.
Yeah.
You shedding over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
So you got your. Did you decide how to do your level select?
Maybe I have to read a page out of a book.
That's not bad.
Like have a particular book.
Very specific page.
And I have to read like a specific passage.
I was gonna be like, you could take your nose ring out,
No.
and then or like your ring, take your ring off, put it back on.
I take
choose
it
level.
off every day when I come home.
Well,
I don't leave it on. It's not like
you
a
could
permanent
select to be
thing.
in the same place though. You might have to go to at the beginning of the level.
Stay right here. Like that?
Kind of, yeah. I don't know. I would do like gosh. I don't know. I would want like a Lord of the Rings style thing, like put on a piece of jewelry, because I have this my mom's wedding ring here. This wouldn't fit, but like, you know, like put like your finger in it and then like that activates the invisibility, which it kind of does in Lord of the Rings as well. But I wouldn't have ring wraiths trying to kill me. I'd just go invisible. That'd be great. Real easy. How do you go?
It's my favorite.
But yeah, I think that'd be good. I think jewelry would be a good way to do it. But then if you lost it,
shit out of luck.
fuck, didn't you? Yeah, there is that. That's the downside of it. So, all right. So level select for you, invisibility for me. I would activate with jewelry. You would activate with reading a passage of a book.
Sure.
Like a whole page.
No, just a passage.
Because what if you're in a rush?
Just a passage.
It'd be annoying. Like a paragraph.
Yeah, say real fast.
Sentence
like
might be better, but well, then you might accidentally say it. You can't accidentally say a page or a paragraph. That's fair. So I'm going to put this to you. If you could have a cheat code, and by you, I'm looking at the camera, but the audio people can't see that I'm looking at the camera. So the people listening and or watching, if you could have a cheat code, and it could be any cheat code that you've ever seen in any game ever, what would it be, and how could you activate it? That being said, I don't want to wrap up just yet because we've got 5 minutes. So what I thought I would ask you, what?
I was just gonna tell you a story.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So my papa, it's my mom's dad.
I know.
They don't.
That's true.
Gosh.
Papa.
Yeah. Grandpa. We called him Pop. So anyway, he is like really into video games.
I know it well.
Yeah, he's like 80 something now. But
killing it.
Yeah, back when I still lived at home, I was like in high school. He would call the house, and when you'd answer the phone, he'd be like, "Okay," and he's from Arkansas, so he has an accent. He's like, "I need you to go over to your computer." This is my southern accent. I don't do accents. He would go over.
You do. You just do them in secret.
Yeah. He would say, I need you to go to your computer.
He's got a gruff voice, though, isn't he? You go over to the computer.
Not super gruff. I mean, and he would say, and go to www.gamecheats.com. And I'm on the PlayStation, and I'm playing Tomb Raider, and I need infinite lives. So
Cheater, Papa, come on. You can do it.
Hold on. I'd go over, type it in. You got it yet? No, it's like, it's
250, there's like
it's still-
56K dial up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still dialing up. Hold on. So you get there and you give it to him. All right. Or he's like, print that out. I'm coming over to get it.
Go on the internet and print it out.
So we'd print it out.
Oh my God.
He'd come by, take it so that way he could take it home with him and have it there so he could remember it. Sometimes he would just ask us to say it over the phone and we'd write it down. But if it was like a bunch of stuff, he'd
Depends how desperate he was at the time.
print it out. I'll be down for it.
That story is great and also reminds me of something that I used to do, which I'd completely forgotten about until you just mentioned that, is that I used to have a scrapbook which I made of cheat codes. This is for kids that like kids these days. They don't know about no cheat codes. Let me tell you, they were fucking hard to remember because it was like a million different button presses on a particular menu screen or whatever. But I used to buy CVG, which was Computer and Video Games, which was a magazine, and Games Master was another one. These are English. Anyone English watching this will know what I'm talking about. And I would cut out the cheat code sections and I would compile them in this kind of compendium of cheat codes that I had. And I was like, in my head, I'm making like the perfect like cheat code book ever for everyone. And as I do, because I'm always like this, I'll try and like, I made it to share it. Like I made it to like show other people like, oh, what game do you have? So I could flick to like Street Fighter 2 and then be like, oh, okay, the code for Blanca to have infinite electricity is this. I kept it up for about a week and then I got really, really kind of tired of it and stopped. But yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that because that just kind of reminded me of that. But
No, I thought it was
the thing about Papa is really good at video games
awesome.
though as well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, because he's it's funny you mentioned Tomb Raider because his favorite game is Uncharted.
Yes.
And he loves Uncharted. And how old is he? He's 80.
It's in his 80s. I'm not sure.
It's late
I'm
80s.
Yeah.
Late
Mid
80s.
to late.
And just fucking loves Uncharted. And he's the kind of guy that will go through it on easy mode, normal mode, hard mode, extreme mode. Like if there's any modes, he's doing them and he's doing them all. I've sat there and played with him as well. He's really kind of dedicated to the cause. Didn't he buy a PS4 as well, didn't he? When Uncharted 4 came out, he was like, yeah, I've got to buy a PS4 now. Because he wasn't going to buy one. And then when he realized there was another Uncharted game, he was like all aboard. He was like, that's awesome. I love hearing stories of people that enjoy video games that are maybe not your typical kind of like 30-year-old basement dweller like me and Keegan. But awesome. It's a good story. I like it. Thank you. So
I'm done here.
yeah, we're done here. We've said our piece.
That's it. That's all we needed.
What was the first video game you ever played?
Well, probably Mario Brothers.
Mario.
Duck Hunt.
Mario. Everyone's Mario.
Well, because seriously, think about it. Came out like in the early 80s. We did have an Atari. We did have an Atari.
Did you play anything on the Atari?
Probably, yeah.
Don't remember what though.
I was like in kindergarten.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Mario Bros is the first one you remember playing.
Mm-hmm.
My first game was
I remember playing Duck Hunt a lot just because it was a gun and it was weird.
It was interesting, Duck Hunt. It wasn't very accurate, but it was alright.
And there was the dog that snickered. I thought he was creepy.
Yeah.
And Paperboy.
Hear him? I don't know if you can pick this up on the mic, but our dogs are getting fed up now, so they're
Cora's not happy.
Scratching on the ceiling.
Paperboy.
Yeah, you like Paperboy.
Yeah.
We still need to pick that up for Ness.
An Olympic game.
Track and field type thing.
Kind of. But you would do like gymnastics and swimming and I think there was running. We've tried to find it. I don't know if we've ever found it.
I don't think we found it, yeah.
And baseball? Like the actual, like the official.
It was just called baseball.
Yeah, like the
back when that was like
baseball.
Not a taken game name.
Yeah, like the.
It'd be good if they did that. I hate that like everything's like FIFA this and NBA 2K16 that. It could be good if it's this game is called basketball.
The Space Invaders game, so I must have played that on the Atari because I feel like I remember that.
The first game I recall playing was Terminator 2 Judgment Day on the Commodore 64, which I only remember a couple levels of it.
I think we had a Commodore 64.
You might have done. It would look like a computer, but you would like play the games on a cassette tape, and it would take 20 minutes to load a game.
You have to like type in start or 64 start or something.
Something like that, yeah.
It's like a code.
But you would sit there for like ever waiting for the game to load. But it was because I love that movie, and my parents bought it with me, and it was a pack-in game. You can actually, if you type in Commodore 64 Terminator 2 right now to Google, you'll see the exact one that I got. And so like. It was just a weird game. I remember that like the motorbike level was the second level, and I would always die on that level. But anyway, we're reminiscing too much. So thanks a lot for listening to this slightly weird podcast with myself and my lovely wife Jessica here. We will be probably resuming normal me and Keegan banter at some point. But we do appreciate you tuning in to this one in the meantime. So if you're listening at home, on iTunes or any of those other podcast thingies that we have, then thank you. We appreciate that. And if you're watching, thank you again for watching.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting to watch, really, than to listen to,
And
because
boring.
we don't really do anything. We just sit here and occasionally like wave our arms silly or something. But you do get the green screen, so there's that. Like, so there's something.
And right now there's dinosaurs behind us, and they're chomping at us.
I know I have to remember to do that shit. All right. So
You
anyway,
hear me say it. So
yeah. All right. I'll do it in post. So all right. So that's our podcast. Do you want to say anything before we go? Do you want to what? Do you want to say the ending?
Yeah.
Like the level 2 ending?
Shh! Don't tell them.
All right. Go ahead.
My line.
You can do it.
Is it?
Do you want me to say the start bit?
No.
Thanks a lot for watching, guys.
Oh yeah. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, welcome to the second level.
Bye.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.